if every permit is valued at 8 mil, like 16 mil of that is just like permit value. Which brings them down, by the way, to 4 mil less value than ours. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Rise of Industry with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our massive company. We are back in Pannewitz, where we left off the last time with pretty much all our issues hopefully more or less resolved now. I do still see small production alerts down here that we will check out, but overall quite fine. We are very well headed on our way in terms of the financials. We've got all these new production areas that we were working on now properly delivering things out. We've got the dolls selling, we've got the stuffing selling. Everything's kind of well underway, including our contract right here for the leather sales to webams. And we do now have the slight topic of the permit auction going on. And I'm honestly quite unclear and unsure what we want to do in regards to this. The issue somewhat being that this little region right here is basically the last region that is kind of open in terms of permits. Everything else has already been taken by an opposing company. So the challenge kind of is that if we do not go and grab ourselves this region, we won't get any more regions at all, and we kind of have to make do with what we have in terms of like area of operations, which if you look at it, honestly, we are kind of pretty much out of any like area of operations. I mean, there's like a bit of space remaining, sure. We've got gas, we've got oil, there's a few things that we can get on their feet. But overall, after that, that's kind of it. And, well, I mean, over here we would have more space. There's not really much of anything interesting in terms of natural resources, mind you. I think the iron right here would be sat in the range of webams. And, well, we've got fish, which, you know, you can sell fish at the farmer's market, I'm sure. Or maybe not even that, which is interesting. And, you know, other than that, it's literally forest and that's it. There's a hardware store. We can sell some wood to that, but that's really not too attractive either. And then, I mean, we've got webams as the closest thing that we probably go sell things out to. So you can see here, you know, we would have some fish. Even those, I wouldn't really quite know how profitable they would be in the end, because to be honest, at the end of the day, you've kind of got to keep in mind that products that you don't really do anything with, and just kind of stay a primary product you harvest and you sell them right off, they're not really too profitable in general, so that's something to caution there. And then, you know, I mean, like wooden products we could sell off some of them, but at the end of the day we are also already making these things in Pannewitz, and so like, I don't know, there's not really much to extract here, to be honest. It's not really much of a market that we could tap into either. And it would be a really big financial investment. On the other hand side, I'm kind of worried, to be honest, that if we don't make the financial invest, we may end up kind of too far behind the other companies at some point when we discover that we've ran out of space and can't do anything anymore. But to be fair, I don't know. I would really kind of prefer some other approach here. Like some other region that actually has something in it. Thing is, there are none. There's not a single one remaining anymore. Really not liking that part. I mean, the alternative would be us, of course, buying up a company after some time and kind of just getting their permits that way, you know, would be beautiful, but I mean, the thing is, we'd need like 33 million to buy Waterworth. Which is quite far out. I mean, how many permits do they have? Can we see that? They've got 2. They're bidding for the 3rd, which is interesting. It's like 3.3 million per stock. Which is quite insane. I don't think we can reach that anytime soon. I mean, like, looking at the loans we can take, there's like 10 mil loans all... Oopsies, I didn't take something out, did I? No. So there's like a few 10 mil loans we could just loan... and get like loan after loan after loan, but like seriously, I mean, that would just kind of probably bankrupt us. The thing is, we've got cash flows. I don't even know what cash flows we have, to be honest. There's a lot of building upkeep. It's a lot of vehicle upkeep, so we've got like maybe 700k profit before loans in a month. Which, given our current loans that we are holding at the moment, I mean, this was a 10 mil loan, means that based on that, we could maybe take out a total of 25 mil while being cash, like even on cash flow. We would gain some extra cash flow from them, but it's like a very risky move doing that at this point, honestly. Plus, we're not paying any interest on this. And we've got a very low monthly payment. Is there any options here in terms of the loan lengths? No, right? Oh no, we can... Can we technically just buy him up like that? I really kind of want to try. Let's do a little experiment here, maybe, alright? We will kind of give ourselves a get out of jail free card. We haven't really done anything yet, the save file. So what we will do is I'll try and take out some loans to an amount where I think we could take the financial hit. We'll buy it all up. We'll see if it then belongs to us and we get the like the cash flows and everything, and then, you know, maybe we can do that. The question is, and I do want to, let's give them the permit first. We can maybe have a look also how it impacts their value at the end of the day. We'll give them the permit first, because if at the end of the day that means we get it, you know, that would be very nice indeed. And then we go from there, I think. Let's give it a try. You know, worst case, we will roll back. I would really like to give it a try. We're not going to go for the permit ourselves one way or another, I think. Because it's a hell of a lot of an investment for another permit. And they just gain that permit in value. It's weird. But that's how it is, it seems. Doesn't really help in terms of our efforts. The good news is that we've got like 1.1 mil currently. Well, let's see how well that one's going to go. Okay, well, we'll just do an experiment, you know. I'll probably go utterly wrong. But we'll take an experiment. Well, we will go for an experiment. We'll go for a longer loan duration on these loans, so that we can somewhat take the monthly cost. Oh, this is going to go so wrong financially, is it? First things first, we're going to pay off the settlement loan from Pannewitz. So that one's taken care of, and we're going to... Ooh, we've got a 20 mil loan there now. This is going to be very painful, just saying. And that is all the loans we can take out. So that's good to know. We can't even take out enough loans at the end of the... Can I just instantly pay him off again? Looks like it. So that's something. I guess at the end of the day what this means is that we've kind of just paid off a 5 mil loan. We've got some extra capital to invest now, which is fine, you know. I think we would have looked for some extra capital to invest anyways. And, well, we're just kind of taking care of that now. Now, what I actually find interesting here, right? We've got the starter loan here. I guess we started out with 10 mil, right? So we're kind of halfway down. 0% interest. I wish we could just never pay it off at all, but guess that's not the way it works. Okay, so we're at 5.3 mil. Unfortunately, that's just way too far out in terms of money to pay. I find it quite weird, I have to say in general, that the stock's value is kind of determined by the permits that they grab. Because at the end of the day, they're paying 8 mil without really gaining anything from it. I mean, sure, there's like some value potential of the business they could incur in that area, blah, blah, blah. But overall, you know, it just doesn't quite make sense to me. I mean, at the end of the day, sure, they've got some amount of business. But if you compare, like, Waterworth to Spacefish Limited, and you see that we've got 2 more gatherers, maybe we're 8 farms behind, but we've got 29 more factories. 3 times the logistics units. And, well, we even have some cleaners on top, which they're not even caring about, but hey. If you take that all into account, from like a business value perspective of the infrastructure I own personally, we are so far behind them. And also, of course, at the end of the day, from a cash flow perspective, we must just be so much further than they are. I cannot, like, I cannot accept anything else. Like, that's just the way that must be right now. So, I feel like out of these, where are my values now? Out of these 41 million, they've got 3 permits. So, I mean, they paid like, if every permit is valued at 8 mil, like 16 mil of that is just like permit value. Which brings them down, by the way, to 4 mil less value than ours. But the thing is that the game somehow factors it in like that. So it's a bit weird, but that is what it is at the end of the day, I guess. Now, what is interesting here is we have now got Pannewitz. And Pannewitz is technically, potentially expanding if I want to pay for it. And we've got some potential here. We do have things like a clothing store, which would be quite nice, because, you know, we do have some space up here still for farms. We could also probably slap some more factories somewhere around the place, like maybe down here. And we could just from that make clothes. Depends on what we need, I guess. At the end of the day, it also involves R&D. We also have construction goods, which I think we're maybe not too interested in. Well, maybe... No, I don't think we're too interested in The interesting part is that this construction goods shop in Webams seems to have different requirements to the construction goods shop here. As this one right here would take glass, paint, crucially. Well, other things like wall panels, rubber, you know. Things that rubber, I think, is actually quite interesting, because it would be like a petrochemical product at the end of the day. And then we've got the ironmongery. Ceramics, diode, steel, buttons, copper wire. We don't care about that. You've got no sort of like iron mines or iron resources or coal in this region, so that does not make sense in my mind. But one of these two probably would. Not quite sure which one of the two we want more, to be honest, at the end of the day. The question maybe is, what kind of amount of money do we spend or need to spend for the research after all? So if we do look around here, where would rubber be? Here. Right. Not a petrochemical product, more of a orchard product. So, not too sure how interested I am in that one. What other things could we use? I mean, we could use paint, which is a complex process, but overall doable. I mean, we do already have stuff like dye going, and we could replicate that. chemicals, you know, would be a bit of work. Then in terms of clothes, guess that's in textile. 5, oof, Jesus Christ, okay. 5.6 million bucks is a lot of money. That is honestly a lot of money to invest. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure, you know, you would make the money back, but we just don't have that much money, because if we put that much into research, we're not going to be able to set up a single factory or expand the town centre at all. And then apart from that, I mean, we've got glass, which I'm not entirely sure how that's made. I don't think we can. We've got refined oil, which, you know, we could make, but in terms of profitability, yeah. I guess, like, okay. But, like, this stuff is super expensive. Sure, there's some easier things to grab, too. You know, heavy fabric, we could just sell that. Light fabric. So that's all an option. For this one, I only see paper rolls, which, you know, we could increase our capacities and just transport it over with a Zeppelin or something. But it does take a lot of area to work with, which we don't really have much of. Refined oil. And then the rubber, which would require a totally new production tree to set up. I mean, in terms of this here, I don't think this all makes much sense currently. Because if I would just, like, pump gas and oil out of the ground right now, we wouldn't really be able to make much profit of it. You know, because due to the rule that raw resources usually don't make much of any money. The other question would actually be Easter eggs. I think that also always somewhat was on our list. That would kind of also feed into the paint part of things. Because we do, like, have the option to sell that off right here. We can also use that right here. For this, I mean, this is a very complex one. We would need plastic, but that's another petrochemical product, which I think kind of loops back to tie in very nicely to the construction goods store. So let's go and choose that. And then the question kind of is, do we want to go for an expansion instantly? And I think the answer must be, we don't really have that much of an alternative. Because quite honestly, there is not really any on top products that we have not supplied yet. The only thing being is that maybe there's some products we have not supplied yet to other regions. So that could be an option. Raw rubber, all this hardware stuff we don't care about. It's mega unprofitable. And this too is like no profitability in that farmer's market for us. Well, I mean, you know, we've got the mutton. What are we actually doing with the mutton? Are we selling that? We probably are. I hope. I'm actually not sure where we would get the mutton from. Here. Destinations warehouse 2. And I guess that one... Yeah, that one sends it to warehouse 5 then with the Zeppelins, I guess. Does it make much sense to do it that way? You know, asking for a friend? In my mind, it doesn't really ease the congestion that much either. They may as well just drive straight through. Anyways, oh right, no, that's because it's in the area. No, don't mind me. It's not in the area of warehouse 4. Don't mind me. Okay, so that's fine. But that's that for the area. Now, if we go and look in other areas for business opportunities, right, we are definitely selling off the heavy pulp. I think we were doing the rolls as well. Let me double check what we are. No, just paper rolls. Paper rolls. Okay, so we were not doing the pulp yet, which could be an option. Would require a good bunch of logging on top, but that would be an option, for which would kind of allow us to scooch past the other thing of you know, expanding the city for like 4 mil. You know, we could just push that back a bit. Hardware store, farmers market, we don't care about. Oopsies. Got the furniture bases. Yeah, glass required, sand and coal. We don't have any coal, so that's not an option, and I'm not even sure how to harvest sand, I guess, here at the beaches or something. So that's not an option. Concrete, not an option. Ink, not an option. Reinforced walls are also not an option. So, furniture bases are an interesting one, which I guess we would have to do a bunch of research for as well. As you can see, we would require wooden planks and furniture bases to be researched. The thing is, we're quickly running out of space for logging. Maybe we should have taken that permit after all, but it's so freaking expensive to get these permits. Not happy, but it is what it is. So the question at the end of the day becomes, we are, with these paper mills, only using up the capacity of one lumberyard, are we? We've got 6 units of wood that we're using, but we've got a harvesting time. No, that's a month's. Okay, yeah, don't mind me. That's a month's production. So we would need another 2 lumberyards squished in somewhere. What have I done? Oh, turn the camera. Looks so weird all of a sudden. So we would need another 2 lumberyards to even be able to fulfill our needs. Not really sure I see that option. Can we technically just, like, snack some materials from over here? Does that count? You know? Could be an option, I don't know. Should we try it? Because if we can squeeze in 1 lumberyard here, use this for us kind of to our advantage, and maybe put in a lumberyard here and then have the harvesting stuff like there-ish. Other thing is that the area of operations is not so big, so maybe we could put the lumberyard like, I guess we could put it here, and then, but we wouldn't need trees. The thing is that we've discovered that even with a very low capacity, it's generally somewhat still doable. Okay, let's try that. I think we're going to go for that. We've got 5.3 mil to spend. We've still got our PR event, so the more stuff we can build, the further we can thrust ahead in terms of actually making money and increasing our own company value too. So, we are going to go... What question, actually? Does not look like I can actually sell my own stocks, can I? Huh. Would have been interesting, you know, to sell 4 stocks, hold on to the remaining 6, given that I've got a stock value of like 30 mil. That would have... Oh, you know, how many is that? Is that 10? I think so. So it would have kind of given us instant 12 mil, which... with a 20 mil loan on top of that, we could have definitely bought up Waterworth. I'm really sad that we haven't been able to buy up Waterworth. Maybe we should kind of try and tackle just gaining some money, saving some money, and just try and snipe them when we do have enough with a few loans on top. We'll see. Let's go to Gatherus, and we'll go build the lumberyard. Right here, I'm really interested to see if this one works, to be honest. Would be cool. I would love it. But, you know, build permit required. Yeah, the build permit, but seems like that's in the area of operations, right? Looks like it to me. Definitely going to go give it a try. Must be built with an own... Ah, yeah, right. So, I mean, I hope the overlap is not too terrible on these. We'll find out in due time, certainly. You know, we'll just kind of hope for now that this will somehow work out for us. We'll see. I don't know. We will find out. So let us go and place another gatherer then. Another lumberyard. up here, basically. And we will go... kind of try to... oops. Make these at least be in the range of some trees. I mean, there's more growing here, evidently, but that'll take a while. Like that. And we'll just hope that that is enough trees to get started. We will find out, I guess. I hope that we are also leaving enough space for, like, the gas pumping facilities at the end of the day. Also remains to be seen, I guess. Let's go and connect all these up here. Yes, I know, I messed up the connection here. Okay, and that's that. It's another 2 lumber yards for us, which is beautiful. Now the remaining question is, after the autosave, do we have enough water? I feel like the answer here may be no. In which case, the question becomes, can we get more water from somewhere? Really lost the overview in terms of how much water we actually have to distribute here, to be honest. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, do we have a lot of water siphons on this one warehouse? I think the general consensus should be that, yes, we probably need more. So, the question being, how much more? 3 per 15 days. How much does a water siphon use? Okay, so 1 water siphon would be enough. Is there, like, any sort of water pumps or something? Water well. Can we just build that anywhere? And hope that it works for us? Or how does that part work? I guess there's only one way to find out. It technically only costs 69k, so... fingers crossed. Oops. And harvester. Okay. But, like, just like that? Looks like it to me. Okay. And that's literally just how a water well works then for us. We can place that anywhere, no like limitations. I guess it may have been more expensive in terms of the setup at the end of the day. Not quite sure how much like the siphons cost. 100k a piece is quite hefty, but I mean, I guess if it works, it works. We should have the connection automatically going. Let's double check that. Water well. Coming in. Okay. I guess we're just going to accept it like that for the time being. And then we're going to go and throw some paper factories around the place. We will go and grab the paper mill. I said hello. Grab the paper mill. Thank you very much. The question is kind of how we want to be doing this. I think we'll have to jeopardize a tad bit of forest up here. Gonna try and not make it too much. We're gonna build 3, of course. What's in the way here? Nothing? Oh, I think I accidentally tried building on top of the other factory. Prototype facility. Metal mega factory. Computer mega factory out in more. Ooh, that's quite cool. Okay. But we will go and slap down another paper mill right here. Doesn't look like it's going to destroy too many trees. At least not the building. The process of the lumber yard will certainly jeopardize a few. Issue actually being here. This will kill off all the trees in this area, won't it? Let's just go and build an air purifier. I think we can't afford here to have all the trees killed off. The question being, how much water this is going to use. I have the feeling that we may have to up our capacities again now, which would kind of suck. But at the end of the day, I'd rather jeopardize a tad bit of my profitability than all of my profitability or all the remaining space. And at the end of the day, space is really something that we are shorter on. than profitability. So, well, we just have to kind of work like that for the time being, I suppose. And with that said, I kind of have found out the first little bit of an issue, which is that we have not got the pulp researched, which is great. Of course. Why would we want to have that? So that is very, very great indeed. We will have to get that going right there. Only 400k, so should be doable. But that's going to be something for the next time. Okay, I think we'll end it off right here. I did apparently accidentally rename this beautiful warehouse to DW. This shall remain DW from now on, I guess. Lot of things done this episode. I think we did climb like by 3 mil or something, just by, or 4. We climbed by a good bit of value by spending a bit of money in the factories at the end of the day, which is beautiful because we're saving a bunch of money, of course, setting up these factories. We are in the next episode though going to proceed finishing off that research on the heavy pulp. We're going to go and sell that one out too. We're going to control that. We're good on all the water inflowing. And then with that done, I think we may either go for a little quick phase where I'm just going to fast forward off screen to we can make some money and try and snipe Waterworth and just buy them up before we run totally out of space. Or, alternatively, we will go and spend some money on growing Pannewitz. But that's something that we'll see in the next episode. For today, I'm going to end it off right here. I hope you all very much enjoyed it. As usual, if you did, please make sure to smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.